Hi everybody and welcome to Push Your Luck video. My name is Eric and today we'll be looking at Dragonwood. Now this is a 2015 release by Gamewright game and it's by it's a first time designer. The name is Darren Kisgan. Alright, this first time designer, and this is a 2 to 4 player game. It plays about 20 minutes. It is a very quick and light push your luck dice rolling game. So you are using cards to determine how many dice you can roll, and then you roll those dice, and if you meet a certain number and above, you get to capture cards, and these cards will give you points at the end of the game. So it's a very quick, very light, very easy to learn and easy to play game. So let's take a look at the game components, what I think, how to play the game, and my final thoughts about the game. Alright, so this is what you get in the game Dragonwood. Now there will be two sets of cards. One set would be the adventure card. So one set will be the Dragonwood cards. So these are the green backs. What happens will be there will be a set of 5 here that you can try to capture. So these are the cards you can capture, and then there will be whenever someone captures a card, then you just replenish them. So these are the Dragonwood cards. There's also a set of adventurer cards. Now there's 5 different colors, and each color will have numbers 1 to 12. There's also 2 of these double-sided player aid cards, which will tell you the turn summary and also a summary of what actions you can do during your turn to capture these Dragonwood cards. There's also some very nicely colored dice. Now the dice are numbered 1 to 4, so there's 1 1, there's 2 2s, 2 3s, and only 1 4. Alright, so there's not your typical d6 dice. Alright, it's really nice quality dice as well. And yeah, that's it. So that's all there is in the game components for Dragonwood. So these cards are a bit thin, but still quite a good quality. Dice is also quite good quality. And so all in all, the components are pretty nice. So how do you play the game of Dragonwood? Now at the start, there will be these 2 dragons, the blue and the orange dragon, which first you shuffle then an entire deck of Dragonwood cards. Then you will discard a number of cards depending on the number of players. So for example, for 2 players, you discard 12 cards back into the box. 3 players is 10 cards, and then 4 players is 8 cards. Then in the lower half of the deck, you will take these 2 dragon cards and you shuffle them in to the deck. And then after you take out 5 cards from the top and put them into this open market here. In a way, it's like an open market. Then each player will have 5 cards. So you randomly shuffle and give each player 5 cards, and that will form the player's hand. So, and then you're ready to begin the game. Alright, so how do you play the game then? Now during your turn, each player can do 2 things, which is listed here in the turn summary. Right, the first thing you can do is to draw 1 card, so reloading. So you're drawing 1 card. So just draw 1 card and put it in your hand, and then that's it. Now take note that you have a hand limit of 9 cards. Alright, so you cannot draw. You could focus it. Alright, so you could draw. If you draw more than 9 cards, you just need to discard down to 9 cards at the end of your turn. Now the second thing you can do is the more interesting thing to do is to capture. So that means you capture one of these cards that you can have. Now what you do to capture is based on how do you want to capture them. So you see each Dragonwood card, there will be these 3 symbols here. Now this is the name of the card, this is the picture for the card, and then this will be the points that you get when you manage to capture this Dragonwood card. So these three symbols and numbers will correspond to strike, stomp, or scream. So strike means that you're playing numbers in a row. So if I had like 6, 7, 8, so I can use this to strike. Now this is strike. You can play any number of numbers in a row, and they can be any color. So this can be a strike. Stomp, same number, different colors. So if I had like same number, different colors. So if I had like 2 7s, for example, in this case, 2 7s, I can do a stomp. So I can do a stomp in this case. Scream is same color, but any numbers that you want. So I could do scream in this way, for example. Alright, so scream. Now, why the number of cards that you play for any of these will indicate the number of dice that you can roll. So for example, if I do this for scream, alright, I can roll 3 dice. Alright, let's say I choose the bat, for example. Now I'll then roll the 3 dice. If the total sum of all the dice that I rolled is equal to or higher than this number, then I managed to capture this card. So that's the essence of the game. How do you go around capturing all these cards? So for example, if this is the case, I roll 3, I get 3 plus 1 plus 4, 7. So overkill, I still managed to capture this crazy best. After I capture it, I put it face down in front of me. Alright, the cards I used to capture are discarded. Alright, and then that's my turn. Now if I happen to fail for some, I fail capturing, what happens is that I need to now discard one card from my hand. Alright, put it in the discard pile, take back the cards I used into my hand, and this card will still remain in the market area here, like so. Alright, now there's two other types of cards in the Dragonwood card. One is the enhancement, so these are cards that sometimes will be a use once kind of cards. So for example, for this case, use only once as any adventure card, so it's like a wild card in a way. The other thing you can do is enhancement cards that are permanent. That means they give you a permanent ability throughout the entire game. The last type of Dragonwood cards you will see is the event cards. So when this event comes out, all players pass one adventure card to the right, and then you discard it, and then you just draw another card to replace. So whenever someone captures a card, you just draw one to replace it. The game will end when these two dragon cards has been defeated, so the game will end. Or if the deck runs out twice. So if the deck runs out once, if the adventure card deck runs out once, you shuffle the discards and put it back and form another deck again. Now if it runs out the second time, then each player will have one more round, and then that's it. Then whoever has the most points at the end of the game will win. Points is determined by the captured cards that you have. Also, whoever has captured the most creature cards will also get 3 extra bonus points. So whoever has the most points will win the game. And that's the game of Dragonwood. So simple, easy to play, easy to learn. Let's go to my thoughts about the game. First and foremost, thanks to Gamewright Games for this review copy of Dragonwood. Now this is a very light game, as I mentioned, so it is a bit too light for my tastes. There's a lot of randomness as well, so even though sometimes you have so this is a push your luck aspect of the game, where I can, if I want to make sure that I definitely can win, I'll play more cards. But that might not be very efficient, because the more cards I play, the less cards I have for subsequent captures in future rounds. The interesting part about the enhancement is that they don't seem to be very worthwhile, because you need one action to capture enhancements, and then if you fail, it sucks, because then you kind of lost the turn in a way, capturing something that may not be that useful after all. Especially the one-use enhancements, they may not be that useful after all, so I guess it depends on how you want to play it. But most of the time we have played it, I've kind of ignored enhancements, because I do not really need the enhancements to win the game after all. Now whoever captures the dragon usually will win as well, because they give quite a lot of points, like 7 and 6 points. Most of the other creatures are not as much. There are some high point creatures like 5 and 4, but usually if you're the one that captures at least one of the dragon, you should be assured of a win, unless you have not been doing very well until that moment in time. The events are also very random. They just cause you to do random things like pass your cards to the right, pass one card to the right, and remove all enhancements in the landscape, replace with new cards. So it's just all very random. It is a very light game. I understand that it's a very light game. It's meant to be light-hearted, very easy to play, very fast to play. You don't really need to think a lot. But I do wish that the creatures have additional, maybe one more ability, or if you collect sets of a certain type of creatures, you get extra bonus. For example, if you collect all the creatures with 4 legs, for example, then you get extra points. Or if you collect creatures of a particular family, then you get more extra points, for example. So that might be the added strategy that this game might do well for this game. But I do understand that this is targeted at the lighter, the more casual gamer. So for what it is, as for the casual gamer, I would say that it is okay, it's not bad. But if you are looking for something a bit more heavier, a bit more thinky, then this is a try before you buy. Alright, so that's my thoughts about Dragonwood. Once again, thanks to Gamewright Games for this review copy, and thank you for watching.